All right, so I thought I would do one more of these DSM disorder things. So we were talking about the norm and this strange idea that whatever is the majority must be right, whatever is normal. So we're going to study what's normal, I guess. So we were like, oh, well, we're not studying what's right, we're just studying what's normal, which is like, well, why should you study what's normal? Why should you study what's, whatever the averaging effect is? And then why would you say that anything deviating from that is disordered? Right? So that's this idea with the normality question, disordered question, not a question, not something built on experimentation, right? You don't have an experiment that says, oh, well, did you notice that when things are away from the norm, they must be disordered? I can't think of a single experiment that would demonstrate that idea to me. So we know this is an idea that comes from someone's arbitrary opinion, right? And the entire basis of this field is founded on that premise. All right, so we looked at a couple of these disorders. One was antisocial disorder, and then we looked at ADHD. Next, I want to look at narcissistic personality disorder. So let's take a look at that one real quick. So narcissistic personality disorder, this person has a pervasive pattern of grandiosity, a need for admiration. Number 3 is fun. Believes that he or she is special and unique and can only be understood by or should associate with others, special or high status people. Let's go down a little bit further. Here we go. Individuals with narcissistic personality disorder believe they are superior. Individuals with narcissistic personality disorder believe they are superior. This is, I think we kind of understand who the narcissist is. But here's the thing that's fun to think about. Sure, I think there could be some people who are, delusional about their superiority. But what if the person actually is superior? What if the person is actually superior? Let's look at that bell curve again, right? The bell curve is a real thing, and human society is spread across this bell curve. Most people are in the middle, which is normality. But some people are at the top of the bell curve. So I think those people are actually superior, right? So would you classify them as narcissistic because they have a belief in superiority? Let's take for a moment Jesus. Jesus, I think, is pretty fun. A question that you might want, a question you could ask Jesus, I think this would be a fun question to ask him, is ask him, well, Jesus, are you the most virtuous man on earth? And I would pose to the audience, I guess, what do you think he should say? And many people would say, well, what he should say is, no. He should say, no, I'm not the most superior person on earth, because by saying no, he's demonstrating humility, right? He should be humble, and that's a virtue, and it certainly is. That humility is what he should say, is conveyed by saying no. But then I immediately ask myself, but he's lying though, right? I mean, if you asked him, are you the most virtuous person on earth? And he says no, wouldn't he be lying? That would be a lie, I think. Shouldn't we be honest? I mean, why not just say the truth? I mean, not for the purpose of boasting or bragging, but if someone asked him the question, shouldn't he simply state the truth as it is and not hide from the truth? In our society, I do find that we embrace humility to such a degree that even when someone's being honest, we're like, ooh, that's not good of you to do. But own it. If he truly is the most superior person on the planet when it comes to virtue, he should say yes and be honest. Tell the truth. And apparently Jesus cannot sin. I don't think he's allowed to lie, is he? So if he's without sin, then he should say yes. And if he were to say yes, then do we say he's a narcissist? He believes himself to be superior to everyone else. So this is, to me, this is very amusing. There's actually there was a case in D.C., a very, very interesting case, where there was a homeless person who was arrested, and the psychologist was diagnosing this person. The psychologist diagnosed him with narcissistic personality disorder, and the reason why is because as the psychologist was interviewing this homeless man, the homeless man said, "Well, I graduated from Harvard Law School," and so the psychologist said, "Well, this person has delusions of grandeur." Think about that. The psychologist concluded this person has delusions of grandeur. Based on what proof? What evidence? Was a scientific experiment done to determine this truth? No. It was presumed that this person was delusional about going to Harvard because he's homeless. So there's no way he went to Harvard Law School. But here's the best part of the story, is this person came into court, and the judge saw him, and the judge was like, "Bob, remember me? We went to law school together, Harvard, you and me." It was poetic justice, I think. It really goes to demonstrate how arrogant psychologists are. I mean, some people are on the higher end of the bell curve. This person actually went to Harvard Law School and ended up becoming homeless. I think they suffered from schizophrenia, which is a genetic disorder, and oftentimes even the smartest people can end up becoming homeless because of that disease. It really shows you the nature of this science. The psychologist did not form a scientific conclusion by saying that this person is suffering from delusions of grandeur. I wanted to show you all this to point out that these are assumptions built into the DSM that are not proved by any experimentation. I mean, clearly you can see that they're not. Like this idea of we've discovered this disorder that you can't do schoolwork. We've discovered a disorder that says that if you deviate from the rules of society, then you've got a disorder. In other words, laws passed by Congress somehow, some legislative authority. If you violate legislative authority, you must have a disorder. These are ideas that came from someone's mind, not from experimentation. And if they came from someone's mind, then someone is deciding, arbitrary opinions, speculations, and they are propagating their beliefs. It's pure dogma. And I don't mind people having opinions and propagating beliefs, but what I do mind is when you call it science. That's what I mind. Is when you put forth your personal beliefs and you say, well, this is scientific. And the major premises of the field the field is founded on these first principles. They're not empirical. And that to me is it's like an authoritarian, because believe me, there are laws based on this stuff. They enforce this stuff against people. A great example. In fact, I should go into is One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Great example of all this, the problems of this stuff. But let me get more into that in the next video here. So I have a video specifically focused on this idea of propaganda dogma, because that's the real issue for me. Is that, well, not the only issue, but one of the issues is this stuff has an effect on society itself. The society has beliefs that are being forged by this field. I've most certainly seen it. people believe, they shape their worldview on the stuff that's propagated by psychologists. So yeah, let's talk about that in the next video.